Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. We'll give folks just another minute before we get started. Again, thanks for those who are coming in. We'll just give a second here for everybody to get joined in, and then we'll get started.
Okay, should we go ahead and get started with some introductions, Danielle?
That sounds great. Good morning, everyone. Thanks again for joining our webinar on why it pays to keep affiliates happy. This is the second installment of our 6-part series to share key insights from our State of Local Marketing Report in 2023. I'm Danielle Bryant, Senior Vice President here at Brand Muscle. And as a leader in our client success team, it's my responsibility and that of our team to ensure that to be our clients' advocates and to ensure that we're there for them as they engage with our solutions and our services. In my tenure here, I've had the pleasure to work with many top brands in a variety of industries, collaborating on not only the implementation, but also the evolution of successful local marketing programs. And in addition to ensuring that your local affiliates have the tools that they need to thrive in their local communities, when I'm not at work, I really do enjoy being part of my local community. So being involved in our schools and in our sports organizations. And it's really great to see when that happens, to see your franchisees, your dealers, and your insurance agents being part of that same local community that I'm in.
Perfect. And my name is Morgan Jacobs. I am Vice President, Client Success here at Brand Muscle. Similar to Danielle, I am working directly with to help advocate on their behalf and manage the best solutions for our stakeholders. In the past 6 years, I have worked across a variety of verticals, including insurance, financial services, manufacturing, and beverage alcohol. So just a couple of housekeeping items to review. There are 3 ways you can interact with us during the webinar today. So there is a poll, which we'll get started on shortly. We'd love to hear from you during the presentation. The chat is open and our team will be monitoring it. If you do have questions, please put them in the questions section and we'll answer all those questions at the end. And then we have about 20 minutes of insights to walk through, and then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. Lastly, there will be a recording of the webinar sent to your email after today.
Okay, thanks, Morgan. And for today's agenda, we're going to share key findings from our local partner satisfaction report. We'll discuss what affiliate happiness means, and we'll tell you what you can do to improve their happiness and drive revenue. And again, as Morgan mentioned, we'll wrap up with Q&A. For those of you who are new, you might be wondering, what is the State of Local Marketing? We believe here at Brand Muscle that it's the most comprehensive local and channel marketing survey available. It actually incorporates millions of data points from more than 8 years of surveying local partners. And it delivers each client that participates with actionable takeaways so that they can improve their local marketing performance. This year, we gathered about 3,200 surveys, and we've added more than 146,000 data points. And for those of you who know and love State of Local Marketing, you've probably noticed some changes this year. So we've reformatted our approach and we've gone solely digital on this. We've divided the survey into a multi-part series, as I mentioned earlier, and we've done that so it's a little bit more digestible for you. Each section is going to include a newsletter publication followed by a live webinar like this one, and you can find those monthly newsletters and our webinar announcements on LinkedIn.
Perfect. So before we dive into the insights, we'd love to hear from you all. Take a look at the poll on your screen. And the question is, what percentage of affiliates are not satisfied with their local marketing programs? We'll give everyone a minute to answer here. And sneak peek, if you have already read the report, you may know the answer. All right, so it looks like the poll results are coming in. And I think we can go ahead and review the actual survey results. So let's see. Awesome. It looks like everybody on the phone read the report. So it is 56%. You guys definitely did your homework. So 56% of affiliates are unhappy with local marketing programs, which is high. It's too high, right? So let's focus on that 40% who are somewhat satisfied. Those are the partners where we can really hopefully convert to being happy and will move the needle the most. So don't focus on the detractors. Don't focus on the affiliates who are already happy. Let's focus on moving the middle.
Okay. So when we talk about partner happiness, right, we're not talking about serotonin levels, of course. What we call partner happiness is their level of satisfaction with their local marketing program. So we're talking about how they feel about that program based on features that you include versus what they want from that program. How easy is that program to use? And then how committed is corporate, and how committed does corporate appear to be when it comes to the program and when it comes to the local affiliate success? So Morgan, when you think about clients you work with, do you see corporate teams prioritizing affiliate satisfaction?
Yes, I do. I think this can look different across different verticals and different clients. One item that can be challenging is if there are limited budgets. So it's important to keep in mind that there are different ways to increase partner happiness and show that support. So this can be through co-op programs, through corporate support, education and communication, and providing program options like Do It For Me program. So we know there are some organizations who think that offering a program, like just offering that program is enough, but we know that corporate support and engagement across the programs really helps with partner happiness as well as engagement and satisfaction.
Yeah, thanks, Morgan. So while all of you might feel like this is a fluffy metric to optimize your program around, it actually matters more than you think. So let's talk a little bit about why it matters. So it matters because happiness relates to revenue. Let me repeat that. The local affiliate happiness relates to revenue. Partners who are extremely satisfied with local marketing programs drove 55% more revenue than those who are not satisfied. And so this is why we say it pays to keep your affiliates happy. Morgan, in looking at the data here, it's pretty definitive, right? The line drawn between the revenue and the happiness is really easy to follow. But do you think all brands know this?
I don't. I don't think the brands are aware that there is this connection between these numbers. So I'm not sure that corporations think about revenue growth as a direct reflection of marketing programs at the local levels. They may think about the effectiveness of the programs, but direct correlation of the program may not be as obvious.
Yeah, I think it does come as a surprise to many brands that affiliate happiness, right? That piece of it is so directly correlated. You know, you think you're giving the affiliates the tools that they need to market well, you're giving them tactics, incentives, right? Interesting campaigns to execute. But sometimes those results don't necessarily drive to what you want to see. And so the key is what really makes a difference? What do affiliates tell us that they care about? And how can we boost their satisfaction?
Yeah, so I love this slide because it is so clear. Affiliates do have strong opinions about what they want to succeed. Their two highest priorities, no surprise, matching funds and dedicated support from corporate. So we all know how important social is in today's world, but affiliates rated funds and support as more important than social media help and more than training and online reputation management. We know in the past couple years, COVID has showed everyone how important that online reputation management and online accurate business information is, but affiliates have clearly stated here that the dedicated corporate support and fund matching are even more important than those other areas. So matching funds was the top priority, which it makes sense to me. Many affiliates think that marketing funds are what's holding them back from being able to execute at the local level successfully. I don't think it's always about more funds, but helping their affiliates effectively spend those funds that they do have. So make each dollar go further and drive more impact. I think the takeaway here is that many affiliates know how to run their business well, but they aren't necessarily marketing experts. So they don't know what tactics are the best fit for their business or how to reach new customers or existing customers. And they don't necessarily know how to execute those tactics. So they want corporate's help in doing so. So showing them how to put those funds and tactics to good use is really the support that they need. It's not just about supporting them from the fund standpoint. So just taking a look at these numbers, Danielle, did this surprise you that matching co-op funds and dedicated support were at the top of the list for affiliate requests from corporate?
Yeah, I think, while some of the other numbers that we see from the state and local marketing report can in fact surprise me, I think the fact that matching funds is their top priority really doesn't, right? Of course, everyone loves to get co-op funds. I mean, who doesn't love free money, right? You can't compete, right, without it, so to speak. But I think that the fact that they put those two things at the top, right, combined with dedicated support, shows that the partners are in it with you together. They want to feel your commitment. They want to see that you believe in the programs that you're offering them. And even if you look at that third priority as well, looking for recommendations, it's as though they do want to collaborate with you more, right? They want to hear what you have to say. And if you can help them, like you said, Morgan, they're good at running their business, but maybe not marketing. And so they are looking for those recommendations too, as that top line right there. So I think bringing those three things together really helps to show that if you're in it, they're in it with you, and that's going to lead to the right activity and drive actual business growth. So let's dig in on the need for matching funds, right? Affiliates value it. We've just said it. They can't market without them. But marketing well requires more than just spending, as we know. And this data is actually interesting too, as it shows that more money is not the only fix. So when we look at the Brand Muscle local marketing matrix, right, we see that savvy marketers are the ones who understand the value of marketing efforts as well as funding, right? So in this data here, we see 72% of less savvy marketers place a higher priority on funds versus their savvier counterparts, where 53% prioritized funds. It's all about the fact that the savvy marketers know what to do with those funds, right? They're more likely to rate other program components as important or more important than funds alone. And so what we see here is that strategy matters too. So Morgan, when you think about the clients that you work with, how do you see highly savvy and less savvy affiliates approach co-op funds? Like, have you seen these trends play out in real life?
For sure. The savvy marketers tend to plan for the year and they use a mix of media. Whereas I think we see less savvy marketers tend to plan in the moment. And then there is potential for them to not spend all of the dollars or use remaining funds at the end of the year to buy tchotchkes or something maybe not as measurable. It is important to consider the plan to make sure the right tactics are happening at the right time to the right audience. So really across that marketing funnel, knowing the goals and how tactics will be measured upfront to ensure spend happens in the right place. We want to help them avoid running out of time, out of money, or spending at the wrong time of the year. And I think this is essential for, like our manufacturing clients who have seasonal programs and products. Local marketers sometimes also tend to spend on tactics where they physically see the tactics. So they want to see a billboard off of the highway in their local market, or direct mail that customers may bring in those postcards. But they may not be as savvy to know to spend dollars in paid search because they don't understand how they're targeting the potential customers because they don't necessarily see it in the same way.
I've definitely seen that occur. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so taking a look here at corporate commitment and really how that affects the local marketers. We know that there is a high correlation between affiliate satisfaction and perceived corporate commitment to the program. I know we've mentioned this a couple of times already, but really what this means is that when affiliates perceive the brands as fully committed to your local marketing program, affiliates are happier with the program. And we should remember here, I think it's a good time to pause, that happy affiliates generate more revenue, right? We saw that at the beginning, so that's essential. Taking a look at this data about affiliate satisfaction, when affiliates perceive corporate as fully committed, the number of satisfied partners, I can't believe these numbers, leap from 12% to 80% next to those who don't see corporate as committed. That's a 575% increase in program satisfaction. So
it's pretty unbelievable. So in other words, Morgan, what you're saying is perceived commitment to local marketing programs matters to the brand's bottom line. So show you're committed. I think that's one of the most important things. And I'd like to point out too, it is about perceived corporate commitment. So it is about the optics.
exactly. I think we're all in marketing probably, and or some form of it. You know that optics matter, right? So, but corporate must make sure that their commitment shows, that affiliates can actually see it. Show that you're committed to the program, committed to your affiliate success, and making sure that your affiliates have visibility into that effort. So I know I may be jumping a little bit ahead here, Danielle, but I think this is coming up on the next slide. Help us understand how corporate can show their affiliates that they are committed to local marketing. What have you seen work?
Yeah, I think, thinking, of course, right, materials, things like that. But when I take a step back, communication and education are absolutely critical. I mean, think about how you can, your brands connect with consumers, right? You're putting out multiple messages, you're doing it in different ways, and you want to make sure, especially if you have more complex products, that you provide education. And so when you think about that with your local partners, if you aren't talking about the program and you're not helping them to understand the complex world of local marketing, they may not get on board at the end of the day. And this has to happen at all levels. Think about, there's a lot of work that's done at the corporate level, but it has to be done at the regional level, and even through those field marketing teams that are on the ground visiting your local affiliates in their local markets. In my experience, I've seen this probably come in a couple of different ways. So our clients that we co-host monthly webinars with, right? So we will cover different local marketing topics on a monthly basis so that we can keep dialogue going with their local agents or dealers, right, depending on the industry. And by doing them monthly, we're giving them segments of information that's more digestible, right? We're not trying to give them the whole complex world of local marketing. So we've seen that really work because they get interested, they can really focus, and then they can actually, quite frankly, call us and talk a little bit more about their specific needs. So it really creates just that open dialogue in education. And then the other thing that stands out for me a lot here is communicating through peers as well. So we always think about it's got to come top down, right? But when you showcase the program from the eyes of another peer, I've seen clients do this through video testimonials, and they might, do that video, post it right up on their local marketing solution. I've even seen videos like this showcased in a client's annual conference meetings, right? They might be doing an awards ceremony and, dealer A wins, and they might have a testimonial video that talks about, why they're successful, the different components that help them, and the local marketing programs being a part of that. So like consumers, your local partners do also trust peer reviews, especially when it comes from peers that they trust and they respect.
Yeah, all very valid.
Yeah. So continuing on the subject of corporate commitment, ease of use. It's really one of the best practices for brands to show your affiliates that you're committed to the program and to their local marketing success. So take a look at this data here. So of those partners who view the program as very hard to use, just 30% think that corporate is committed. But that number jumps up to 71% when they think the program's very easy, right? So again, affiliates who think of their marketing program as easy to use tend to think corporate is more committed at the end of the day. They're trying to make it easy for me to be engaged. And I think this highlights the importance of ease of use, right? There has to be a central priority for all brands optimizing their marketing programs. So no matter how tempting it is to just throw more money at something or throw a few more tactics out there, you have to make sure you're doing it in an easy way that your local partners can engage in. And that, if you're not doing it, it can negatively impact perception. So the best way to think about it is simple wins. Morgan, let me ask you this question. What ways have you seen clients make it easier for local partners to use?
Sure. I think when programs live in one place and are easy to access in one central location, there tends to be more engagement. So making it a one-stop shop. Think of it this way. If brands had a marketing ecosystem, if you will, that made it easier for affiliates to check their funds, create materials, and execute campaigns, spending those funds, and then also given access to performance metrics to prove the success of those campaigns all in one place, it really makes it a lot easier for those local affiliates. So, think about the barriers and the obstacles that you would be removing by accessing multiple platforms, and how easy the program would be to engage in. To take it one step further from that one-stop shop platform, when you create marketing programs and packages based on what they intend to deliver, so really helping those local marketers understand if it's an awareness driving or lead generating campaign versus like sometimes, we've seen like bronze, silver, gold type of language used, that also makes it easier for those local marketers to get on board to understand what they're getting from it. And I think just in general, keep it simple. Reimbursement, the creative, the programs. If they don't know how to spend money, if they don't know how to get reimbursed, then at times they may not spend the money at all, which is obviously not at all what we want.
Right, because then they're losing their space in the marketplace to communicate. Absolutely.
Yeah. So jumping back, I know we touched on this, the marketing savvy partners. It's easy to assume that being marketing savvy would mean affiliates like their programs more than less savvy affiliates because they have a better sense of how to leverage it. But what we see here in the data is actually that's not the case. So instead, our data shows negligible difference between the more savvy and less savvy partner satisfaction with the program, meaning partners' degree of marketing knowledge doesn't make them more satisfied with the program. I think this is especially revealing with the 58% of the most savvy partners were dissatisfied with their program. That's over half. So this is troubling because those are the people that are really driven, who want to market, who have the most knowledge. They're in the best spot to move the needle, but they're not as happy as they should be. So we look at that as an opportunity. Danielle, is this surprising to you, or does this align with what you see day to day?
Yeah, this is one that did surprise me at first to see that that number come through. But as I keep thinking about it, really at the end of the day, it almost, your savviness almost doesn't matter, right? So whether you're less savvy or more savvy, if you're looking for the same thing, right? You're looking for a commitment from corporate to provide a program that's easy to use, right? One that gives the right level of support and education around it, in addition, right, to well-rounded messaging and tactic offering and things like that. And of course, funding, right? So I guess, again, initially surprised, but the more I think about it, it makes sense. They're looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we shared a lot with you guys today, and we did it fairly quickly, right? We want to hit these key and make sure that you can walk away with some key takeaways as well. So again, provide matching funds and corporate support. Commit to your partner's success. When you do that, if you show them you care, they will feel your commitment. You've got to prioritize ease of use, as we've said, especially when you start adding new programs, right? When things are new, there's change management, and they want to just feel that ease. And then offering education and guidance to boost program satisfaction and communicate with affiliates about the program, not just about the program, but its benefits, and share wins that highlight its effectiveness, because I think that's what makes them believe. Morgan, one more question for you. Which of these do you think really moves the needle for most organizations?
I can't pick one. All of the above. Is that allowed? Each of these really provides value and benefits to boost the affiliate happiness. I think, as we've shown you, that's what the data says too. They're all important. So at the end of the day, it really matters that you aren't just offering a program, but you are supporting the program, you care about the program, and communicate it at all levels. So make it easy for those affiliates.
Awesome. All right. So before we do dive into the Q&A, we did just want to quickly mention again, there's a new report that is dropping every month. So easy for me to say, so to subscribe to our LinkedIn newsletter, just make sure you don't miss it. And then also after today, look into your email for a link to this webinar recording so that you can rewatch for any of those insights, to kind of see some of those notes on those slides, or you can also share it with a fellow local marketer. If you have not yet participated in the State of Local Marketing to survey and learn how your brand compares to the benchmark, you can talk to your account management team if you are a client of ours to get your survey started. And if you're not currently a client, just send us an email at hello@brandmuscle.com and we'll connect with you on that topic.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. So I know we've had an insightful discussion today. I think we can move to the questions panel to answer some questions. Feel free to type in any last minute thoughts and we'll try to get to them all.
Okay. All right. So it looks like the first question here, what are some ways I can make my program easier to use? Do you want to take that one, Morgan?
Sure. I think, we've touched on a couple of these throughout. I think the one-stop shop, everything in one place is key. I'm going to use the same word again, turnkey packages with the clear goals. So helping the local marketers understand what they're going to get with their programs is essential. And then breaking down barriers of education, recommendations, reporting, things like that to really enable and help the local marketers understand what they're doing, what they're getting, and the support they have, and what will change because of that as well, like the results they see. And I think also just don't overcomplicate the co-op or the cost sharing program, because we see then people kind of walk away.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Morgan, about that. The simpler you make it, then they understand how to use those funds, right? I've seen dealers just walk away from using them because they don't understand. So that's great. Another question here is, how can we show our local partners that we're committed to the program? I feel like we do so much already. So I can take this one. I think it's, we mentioned about making it easy to use, right? So you've heard that part. But I think the other thing is making it easy to find and access. I think sometimes people don't even think about that, right? You focus on the solution itself, but how do they get to that solution? How do they get to those programs? Are they going to different places? Or is there one simple place to get it? I've seen internet sites from clients where they've got to click and click and click and click to get to it. It's a wonder that they find it. So I think that is something, aside from just making the program easy, make it easy to find, make it easy to find information about it. Again, we mentioned regular communications and education around it is critical. If you're keeping it top of their mind, they know it's important to you. And again, engaging the field staff too, because they're the ones that are on the ground and visiting your local affiliates, partners, dealers, right? They're out there and they can help communicate, from that perspective. And think about educating them as well, right? It's not just about educating your end local affiliates, but even about creating that same knowledge and communication with those field teams and regional teams, et cetera. Cool. Now, if we're seeing any other questions come in.
No worries, we're super close to time, so I think we can probably go ahead and wrap things up for today. Danielle, thank you for sharing all of your insights.
Yeah. And if there are any other questions, please don't hesitate to send those to hello@brandmuscle.com and we can get those taken care of.
Yeah, thank you to all of our participants. We hope to see you on our next webinar and have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.